Alright, welcome back Red Blur Gamers. We have a few bits and pieces we need to finish up on. Just some ideas and some design flaws on what we're going to do with some of these guys. And try and figure out where to go from there. I'm trying to add a little bit of colour to break up some of the monotony on these armour panels and whatnot. But yeah, let's get into it. We're going to paint some lenses. Obviously the guys on here have got lenses on their helmet. We'll do that. I will probably go with a nice, lovely, I've got bale red up the back here. So we'll give that a shake and we will get into it. And we'll start putting let's get the vision goggles on. And we can, I'll start with the captain or the sergeant, and let's just start getting some. Well, it helps if I can get in the right spot. Well, what is going on there? I've got a brush that doesn't want to. There we go. Look at that. Bang. Now we can get some colour on these guys. Three down. I do know that, like, guys, I posted the ability for you guys to vote on what you would like to see the channel do. I have not ignored that. I have some ideas in my head. I've just got to get around to actually doing a video about those particular things, and that way I will be able to at least give some insight, some thoughts on what I do. And I know that list building and game style, play styles, has been the two things that were winning, or that were the most wanted. So the list building one I'll do in another video, because I'll do a separate video just on that, me talking about list building, not painting. But in terms of playstyle, I will definitely talk about that while I'm painting now. And we'll get the eyes done there. Not the greatest effort, a little bit shoddy, but eyes are painted, which actually brings me to painting eyes. I am going to need to check the shit out of another paint. Excuse the coughing like a maniac. Oh, right. I think my white scar is a little bit of dead. But I'm just going to provide me with the ability to at least get some paint on this eye of this main lens of the commander, so that I can get some paint on it. Oh god. Definitely making a mess, but yeah. So get that out of the way, close that, clean that off, get rid of that. I'm going to have to run that over the shaker and mover very heavily so that it actually works properly. But while we're thinking and talking about stuff, when my brain wants to function, play styles, the stuff that, that's the wrong one, not the Foster Earth. Oh, I'm going to have to give this a good shake too. Depending on what opponent I play and what army I'm playing, really depends on how I go about playing the army. So obviously with the army that I'm building right now, that I'm test playing, that I'm having a little bit of fun with, Tau have a lot of infiltrate units in terms of the stealth suits that can get up the board and infiltrate, which I've learned I've got to be a touch more aggressive with. It will then stop my opponent from being able to use their infiltrate units, which the last game and the only game the second game I played with this army, I very much so got caught out with that against Death Guard, which made it a touch harder. When playing Tau, I also tend to play a lot more cagey, a lot less aggressive, and just what a lot of Tau players tend to do, especially because if you're playing one of the other detachments for Tau, Montcar or Caoyon, it'll depend on what you do. Caoyon gives you some very aggressive bonuses in your 3rd, 4th, 5th battle rounds. Montcar does 1st, 2nd, 3rd. But see, I am playing the prototype, experimental prototype cadre, so I don't have to worry about, hiding as much. I can move in a way that will put me in positions where I'm finding my enemy or opponent well within shooting range, well before they expect to be, because it gives that excuse me, excuse the coughing like a spanner, because it gives that big boost of range to the weapons. You turn 12-inch into 18 and so forth. So if you have a 12-inch firing gun, you can shoot at stuff that is 18 inches away. If you're at 18 inches, you can shoot at stuff that's a lot further. You can. It basically gives you the ability to add 6 inches of shooting to all weapons, ranged weapons. So for Tau, it really allows for the improvement of their return to their very much gunline-like mannerisms from the early days, I would say. From how I first remember Tau playing as. Very, gunliney, shooty, easy to kill, but they're going to put out a hell of a lot of firepower and make it really hard for you to actually get at them and shoot. So that's what I think really that the biggest thing the experimental cadre has done is really provide Tau with that firepower capability again. And so I play cagey. I definitely tend to sit back per se and allow even a little bit of advancement from my end, just to push out those ranges, so that if I can get to an army that is melee focused, and I can find a decent amount of ability to shoot at them with some sort of heavy-ish weaponry, I can thin numbers very quickly, and that allows for a bit of a bonus in terms of being able to really fight back and save myself slightly, because otherwise, as I said, Tau are very, very squishy, very easy to deal with. Don't have great saves unless they're in stealth suits, or even like the crisis suits or the broadside. Some stuff does have a good save, a lot of stuff doesn't. So being able to really put the brakes on someone coming at you and them then having to worry about how much damage they're going to take, is it really worth them making that kind of advanced move where they're going to find themselves in a little bit of trouble, and if so, like, how much trouble are they going to be in? So it's quite interesting. I will say that when I play, I know I'm building a painting Tau here, but when I go and play Dark Angels or Space Marines, which I have over Space Marines. I am a lot more aggressive, especially with my company of hunters, which is my Dark Angels detachment that I do tend to play a lot of. When you've got 36 bikes, everyone has, free advanced shoot. Some units have free advanced shoot charge. You definitely want to be getting up the table and really blocking off enemy capabilities very quickly, given the fact that, they are 4 wounds, Outriders are 4 wounds, the Raven Wing Command Squad is 4 wounds, the actual just standard Raven Wing Black Knights are 3, but obviously the Command Squad has the ability to, bring bikes back. You have overcharge abilities, you can go and shoot different things, and especially if you want to get into melee with a vehicle, which is what they are really good at, that ability to advance shoot charge really allows you to sneak up on a vehicle, get into it, and really hit it hard in terms of doing some severe damage to it, which does definitely help put the fear into a few opposition players, because a very punchy, very aggressive Tau army coming at you, especially in terms of the Black Knights. Bloody finger on that. You don't exactly want to allow them to do anything that people don't want. You don't want to allow them to get into a position where they can really hurt you, and that's what I aim for. To get in that position early, to be able to really dictate what goes on. I definitely know that when I have hemmed armies in their deployment zone with a company of hunters, if I get the chance to, that there is a lot more benefit to me. I have a lot more game control, I feel. Definitely takes the ball into my court more often, gives me the ability to force reactions rather than have to be the one making the reactions. And the same with Tau, being able to, especially because they're so squishy, I find that being able to be the one forcing reactions rather than making the reactions works for me. But everyone's different. Everything is different. But yeah, we soldier on, we move on, we try and get all of these bits and pieces painted. And yeah, so everyone's different, every army's different, playstyles definitely work differently for different armies. You've got a heavy melee army, you really need to be going first and getting up the board into cover to then stay in cover for the next turn to be able to jump out of cover and force the person that is coming towards you or trying to get you to put themselves in a vulnerable position. You definitely need to know and learn how to find what is an acceptable piece to trade. So you get a vehicle of some sort of unit, a cheap unit, you're happy to put out slightly in the open to force a melee army to come out at it and open themselves up. And that really then allows you to dictate what they do. And especially if you're, got an army where you've got a lot of miniatures and you've got one of those units that's worth, 70 points. So like, for instance, Space Marine Scouts. Nice and cheap. Can be slightly punchy when they want to be. But at the same time, while they're action monkeys, they provide you with a very, very cheap unit that you can trade. It doesn't do a great deal of stuff, but helps you do what you need to do. Now, in terms of that kind of unit, you know, Tau have crit carnivores, you know, 10 guys for 60 points. Or whatever it is. I think it's 60 points, maybe it's 80 points. But the same deal. You've got cheap units that can do something, an action, get them on an objective, sticky that objective with the Crute, which is their special mission ability, and then from there you just they can kick the bucket. You can have a melee army unit come and tag them. They can attempt to fight back, which always with, you know, those kind of things is quite helpful, and it just allows you to, you know, sacrifice a small unit to get something out in the open that then you can just pepper, because melee armies, you know, don't like to be shot at, and if you can pepper a melee army quite heavily with that kind of ability, you know, give them a real touch up, let them understand that you're there. They tend to not be overly impressed by it and will very much try and bug out. So just remember that. Remember that it can be interesting, painful, hard. Oh, Jesus, I tipped it over. To do what you want to do in terms of... Okay, this does not want to stay where I want it to stay. I need to get that off there and back up. There. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to clear the back of the pot slightly because a huge chunk of paint actually jumped out and went around the butt there. So also there's some fluff caught in the thing there. Anyway, I'll put that back down again and hope to God that that runs into itself. I'll get into that with what I was going to do shortly. But yeah, anyway, that is all from this particular video. But we will be trying something interesting in a second. I have to grab one of these, because I have a pot that is good for, stop it, a pot holder. And we're going to try and edge highlight, because why not? I don't do it too often. I'm definitely trying to learn it. Shit. Too heavy. But that's okay. We are learning. We are learning how to edge highlight. Didn't quite go where I wanted it to, but see how we go. But yeah. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget, if you like what I do, like and subscribe. Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. We've got multiple pages. Follow us. Peace.